Heyo, welcome back to the Undrafted and Unqualified Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Anthony. It's just me today. All right, so Vinny's unable to do this one this week, so it's just me, which means it may be a little quicker. But yeah, I'll get into it, and good amount of stuff to talk about today. A lot of waivers I got to cover. We'll do starts and sits. We'll do all the typical things we do in this podcast. Yeah, but it'll just be me. I'll share some of Vinny's takes for starts and sits, buys and sells as well. So yeah, that is the plan for today. Hopefully you don't get too bored of my voice. But yeah, all right. Busy week. I ended up winning. Thank you, Mr. Little. Cam Little got me the dub. So I'm 4-1 in both leagues now. I lost in my league I was undefeated in. Happens. Gino's probably getting cut from the team. Yeah, he's not good even for Superflex. So that's not great, but hey, we're working. We got good teams. So yeah, we're getting into it. So week five, this was the first week. We had bye weeks, four teams on bye. So, that plays a factor in any time you are playing fantasy football. But let's get into some news here. We got some good stuff to cover, and then we'll do the team recap of every game. First things first, another week, another devastating injury. Marion Hampton goes down. He is put on IR already. So that's a brutal blow to your team, right? As Hampton's getting into the swing of things, it's like, okay, this guy's a workhorse. I'm excited about him. He goes down. Be looking at Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal for the time being. It's tough to say who's going to be the workhorse. My thoughts are Hassan Haskins is going to be the early down back, and Vidal is going to be the pass catching back. I think Vidal will get some touches as well. But yeah, we kind of have to see this one play out. We just don't know what it's going to be. They could go 50-50. They split carries, they split snaps after Hampton went out. So it's really tough to say who's going to be the better option for fantasy. I guess in PPR, you might want to take a swing at Vidal, but everybody's projecting Haskins to be the early down back, the starter. So that's probably the route to go for now while Hampton is on IR. So that's a brutal blow. A couple other injuries. Kyler banged up, came back into the game. So I think he'll be okay. Same thing with Carson Wentz, came back into the game-winning drive as well. He looked good on that game-winning drive too. So I wouldn't worry about these two guys, but it's something to monitor as we go through the week. Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton went down in the fourth quarter and did not return. So something to keep an eye on. He is probably droppable. Yeah, I don't I don't think there's a lot of excitement there. The receivers in New York did not get it done. No neighbors against a New Orleans defense who hasn't been very good. So not exciting there. Let me just make sure. All right, my volume's all the way up. We're good. Antonio Gibson's the last injury we'll talk about. Antonio Gibson down for the year, torn ACL. It's a brutal blow for the Patriots. But what this means for fantasy is it is now Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. I think we're still going to see a split throughout the rest of the year, if I'm being honest. But I think this means it could finally be time for Henderson to start doing something. That is the hope at the very least. So be patient. I wouldn't start him yet. He's very unstartable right now. It is still Ramondre's backfield, but he continues to fumble. He fumbled again this week. So you never know. We'll see if things can swing in terms of a timeshare in Henderson's favor. We will see. But Gibson was getting the carries early on, so I don't know what it's going to look like. But we know Mike Vrabel, as a Patriots fan, I know Mike Vrabel trusts Ramondre Stevenson. That's the route he wants to go. So we'll have to see. Wait and see with Travion Henderson. That's my take on that. Other news outside of injuries, Joe Flacco just today got traded to the Bengals, which means Jake Browning is out at quarterback. This is big news. Big news for Bengals fans. Big news for the Bengals in fantasy football. I think this is a huge upgrade for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins especially. I think Joe Flacco can support two guys. I don't know if it really upgrades Chase Brown at all, if I'm going to be honest. I think that O-line's just been terrible. He's been inefficient. He had 7 catches this past weekend, but you know, not too great regardless. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of an upgrade it'll be. I think this is good for Jamar. I think this is good for T, but for the team as a whole, I don't know. Flacco wasn't good. He got benched for Dylan Gabriel. He had a rough few weeks to start the season. We're talking about him as a gunslinger, and he wasn't doing great at that. We missed Winston there, but yeah, it's definitely watch for Jamar and T. I think this is most importantly a big upgrade for T because Chase got it done regardless. He had a great week, even in garbage, even if it was in garbage time. So, yeah, that's the news for today. Let's hop into it. Let's hop into the games. So, two less games to cover this week because of the bye weeks. So, let's start off here. Let me pull this up. We'll start off with Thursday night. Man, this was a wild week. A lot of upsets this week, including this Thursday night game where the decimated Niners, they had nobody. Everybody's out. But they beat the Rams in overtime by 3. Mac Jones again looked really good. Christian McCaffrey, once again, just doing everything for the team. 8 receptions on 9 targets, 22 carries. This dude's a beast. It's kind of crazy. When you're drafting McCaffrey, this is the guy you draft. You draft him to be the number one overall guy. So you love to see that. And it's clear Mac Jones can support some guys. Kendrick Bourne, I mean, they played together. They played together in New England. I don't remember how many years it was, but they played together, and Kendrick Bourne went 10 for 142. He had a great week. He was one of the top 10 fantasy receivers on the week. So if Pearsall and Juwan Jennings are out again, I would be looking at Bourne. I would be looking at Bourne this week. I'm not sure the matchup exactly. But it, yeah, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But regardless, I think Bourne could be very valuable. Jake Tom just had a great week too. 11 targets, 7 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. I think as long as Kittle's out, which could be another week or two, I think he's going to have some value. He's been actually really good so far for fantasy. So Jake Tonges, Kendrick Bourne are the big beneficiaries here. We are not sure what the news is with Juwan Jennings and with Ricky Pearsall heading into the week. But I think these two guys, Bourne and Tonjes, are startable. And McCaffrey locked in. Number one guy rest of the season, I think, at running back. For the Rams, good game out of Stafford again. I think Stafford's looked pretty good this year, man, which is crazy because he's getting up there in age. His back injury, we're all worried about it this year, and he's looked good so far. Kyron, decent day on the ground, but he went 8 for 66 in the air with 2 touchdowns. Had a crazy day for fantasy. If he gets receiving work, this dude is going to be top 5 rest of the season. Easily, easily. I mean, 10 targets is crazy. We haven't seen this yet. This is a new thing for Kyron Williams. So I'm excited to see how this plays out moving forward. But if he can even get 3 catches a game, that's huge for Kyron, who's already a workhorse back. Blake Corum only had 1 carry to Kyron's 14 in this game. So, we'll see. We'll see what this continues to look like. But huge news for Kyron owners. I mean, if he continues down any trajectory of catching passes, he's going to be a beast. Puka Nacua, again, unbelievable. He's inevitable. At this point, he's inevitable. He is unbelievable. 10 catches again, 85 yards, 12 targets. Devontae Adams had himself a decent day too, 5 for 88. It's like, all right, in the fantasy, it's 13 points, PPR points, but he had 11 targets. It's a two-man funnel in this offense. So you love to see that. The story here, though, of course, is Kyron in the pass catching role. So that is big time there. Let's hop into the Sunday games. The London game between the Vikings and Browns. The Vikings ended up winning on a game-winning drive against the Browns. Carson Wentz actually looked decent in this one. Cam Akers threw a touchdown in this game, which, okay. Jordan Mason, he actually looked decent, for a pop against a really good Browns run defense. Got a touchdown, saved his fantasy day. I did say it last week. I had to start him. I did. I was happy with the 12. I can't lie. I was happy with that. Justin Jefferson doing Justin Jefferson things, 7 for 123. Addison, it was weird. He sat out the whole first quarter. It was like he missed a meeting last week or something. Comes in and, the rest of the game, during that game-winning drive especially, he caught the touchdown. He solidified himself with a good day overall, 5 for 41 and a touchdown. TJ Hawkinson, what do we do about TJ Hawkinson? Not sure. He had 6 catches on 6 targets this week, but for only 38 yards. It kind of feels like it is Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison in this offense. And I think Hawkinson, I wouldn't be dropping Hawkinson personally. I wouldn't be doing that. You spent capital. It's only going into week 6. We've been through 5 weeks, but it's not a good sign so far. He hasn't been able to produce with JJ McCarthy, and he's not producing with Carson Wentz. He could be cooked. There were a couple weeks ago, there was this clip going viral about him like doing this really slow move, trying to like break out, and it looked terrible. Like I could have covered that, Vinny could have covered that. But yeah, he could be cooked, honestly, which is not great to see, but I'm willing to give it time, throw him on the bench for now, and we'll see. But we could be talking about TJ Hawkinson as a cut candidate pretty soon. I'm not gonna lie. Fourth, the Browns. Dylan Gabriel debut. It was decent. 19 for 133. Um, attempts, completions and attempts, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's okay. I don't mind it. He only scrambled twice. It's fine. Quinshawn Judkins, 23 for 110. Unreal. He had a reception as well. This guy seems like a workhorse, and he's going to be an RB2 rest of the season. Locked in. Locked in. I actually sent out a trade today looking to go get him for one of my leagues. Really want to upgrade my RB2 slot with Travion not producing yet, and Pollard. I don't trust him as my RB2 rest of season. So after Connor and Benson went down, I'm a little bit thin there. So I like Judkins a lot as an RB2. I feel really comfortable with him if I had him on my team moving forward. Jerry Jeudy, man, 2 for 15. It was a bad week again. You could drop him if you wanted to. I would hold. He's a kind of guy I'd hold another week or two, but it was bad. He wasn't, like there were one, two, three, four, five guys who had more yards than him on the day. There were one, two, three, four guys who had the same amount of catches or more than him on the day on his team. So it's not great. The story of today in the pass catching was David Njoku, 6 for 67 and a touchdown on 9 targets. I think that's big time. Even Harold Fannin, 4 for 13 and one. He had a touchdown, which saved his day. But yeah, I think this is if Dylan Gabriel likes Njoku, man, Njoku's back. I think he should be rostered everywhere. That's going to be big moving forward. The other name I want to bring up is Isaiah Bond. 7 targets, 2 for 29, which isn't great, but 7 targets. And this was the second week where we're seeing him get some opportunity. Looks pretty decent. So we'll continue riding with that, see what can happen there. But I think Njoku might be really valuable moving forward. Let's hop into the next game. Texans and Ravens. If this wants to load, lovely Wi-Fi I got here. But the Texans, they blew out the Ravens this week, 44-10. CJ Stroud looked unbelievable, 23 for 27, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Yeah, he looked good. Nico Collins, 4 for 52 and a touchdown on only 5 targets. A little concerning. Nico's a downgrade in my eyes to, a lot of people had him like top 7 receiver to start the year. Some people still do, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I have him on one of my teams. I traded for him last week. I talked about that. But I think I view him closer to that wide receiver 12 range. I think there's probably around 12 guys you could view above him. So I think he's borderline RB or wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Christian Kirk, 4 for 64. Schultz, 5 for 60. Yeah, he just spread the ball around, but the guys getting the touchdowns outside of Nico was 2 to Xavier Hutchinson and 1 to Jalen Noel. So nothing to do with fantasy, which kind of sucks to see. But the team had a really good day regardless. Nick Chubb actually 11 for 61 and a touchdown compared to Woody Marsh getting 7 for 24. People are worried about Damian Pierce getting 7 for 21. Don't worry about Pierce. I promise you, do not worry about Pierce. Pierce was in when they were putting all their backups in because they were blowing them out. Also, Woody, I believe, let me double check this, but I believe Woody Marks still, even though he was out carried this week, I believe he out snapped Chubb still. So he did. It wasn't pretty. Their snap shares were quite low, but you can chalk up a blowout like this. That's part of the factor. Um, but yeah, Chubb got the touchdown, so it was a disappointing week for Woody Marks. He didn't catch a pass at all. He only had a target. So disappointing week. I know that was a lot of people's start of the week. People are big on Woody Marks, and Wasn't a good week. Disappointing to say the least. They're going into the bye week. You hope it can flip back in Marks's favor afterwards. I would not be like panic alarm, panic alarm. I would not be doing that. He's a rookie, right? He's a day three rookie. So we need to still give it time. Nick Chubb's not just going away. He's not going away as much as Woody Marks might be more explosive right now. Um, but yeah, as much as a blowout as it wasn't super exciting for fantasy outside of Stroud, who looked incredible. As for the Ravens, brutal. Cooper Rush looks awful. We need Lamar back for fantasy for the Ravens. Zay Flowers, 5 for 72. It's a decent day. 12 points for fantasy. Outside of that, receiving wise, it was bad. Mark Andrews, 2 for 22, really bad. Derrick Henry, 15 carries, 33 yards, one touchdown. He had a target on the day, but no catches. Derrick Henry, this is what I've been saying for the last few weeks, is he's been a buy for me. It really, what matters for Derrick Henry is if you believe in the Ravens, his splits of when they're winning games versus when they're not. Like if he didn't score that touchdown, it's a 3 point day for Derrick Henry. Nine's not great, but it's better than 3 points. So that touchdown really saved his day, I would say. And if the Ravens keep losing games, Derrick Henry's borderline unstartable. They have a brutal matchup against the Rams this week, and I'd be hesitant to start Derrick Henry. I mean, you may have to. You may have to. He's that good, or he's the name value, the talent, where you drafted him. So based on roster construction, you probably have to start him, but I'd be really hesitant this week. The Rams got a great rush defense. Yeah, he was almost my sit of the week, if I'm being honest, but it's hard to say sit Derrick Henry. So fade him anyways, fade him anyways. Be a little cautious, but yeah, you just need to hope the Ravens can start winning games. You need to hope Lamar comes back. You need to hope all their all pros come back and they can start winning games because that's going to be the recipe to success for Derrick Henry. Moving on to the next game, Giants Saints. Saints got it done. A game I took the Giants in. Yeah, the Saints just looked better. Jackson Dart was meh. He was okay. Cam Scatterbo still getting carries, 15 for 59. He got 6 for 45 through the air on 7 targets. As long as he's getting receiving work, he's still going to be good. I think this was what is it, a 15-point day for him? Oh, I think he might have fumbled, so 13 points, something like that. But between 13 to 15 points, that's a decent day. He was my start of the week last week. It's okay. He wasn't a smash hit like I had hoped, but he did good. He did good. So Scadaboo, I'm hyped about rest of the season. As for the receivers, I'd say Wandale's probably the one. He had 5 for 30 on 7 targets, but it's not exciting. It's maybe a little bit of a floor, PPR floor, but that's about it. Slayton, as I said, you could probably drop him. Theo Johnson, he's a name to mention here. Daniel Bellinger went 4 for 52, which is another tight end. Great, awesome for him. But it's Theo Johnson, dude. 6 for 33, 2 touchdowns, 7 targets. He's in the game a lot. Let me pull up his exact snap count for you guys. Um, it is sitting at 70%. So Bellinger was only on the field, sorry, 82%. Bellinger was on the field for 52%. Without Neighbors, it looks like they're running more two tight end sets. Um, but Theo Johnson's on the field, dude. 82%. 82% is big time. He got 2 touchdowns, as I mentioned. He finished as a top 5 tight end this week. He's a name to watch moving forward. I think he's a pickup this week. You need tight end. He's a dart throw, but I think he's got potential there. Two touchdowns is big time. As for the Saints, Spencer Rattler continues to look okay. He had a decent day for fantasy as well. I think he was around 17, 18 points, something like that. Not bad. Kendre Miller outcarried Alvin Kamara in this game. Looked better on the ground. Alvin Kamara is still doing the receiving work, 4 for 28 through the air, but it was not a great day. It was not a great day. At this point, you almost hope Kamara gets traded to a team like the Chiefs where he'll get work, he'll perform better. Um, yeah, not great. But I wouldn't run away just yet. He's still out snapping Kendre Miller. Just know it's looking more like a split moving forward for the two guys. So Kendre should also be owned. Olave, 7 for 59, 11 targets again. This dude's getting a ton of targets. He's looking good. Rashid Shaheed, 4 for 114 and a touchdown on 87-yard touchdown. He looked good. This is a name we haven't talked about, I don't think, once on the show. but he's a name to keep an eye on. He's on the waivers for me. He's been pretty solid all season long. He doesn't get a lot of targets, he doesn't get a lot of catches, but he's kind of a boom bust with somehow he's had a floor, which is weird to say, but yeah, I keep an eye on Shaheed. He looks decent, and Juwan Johnson's role has diminished over the first 5 weeks. Like it started off really strong, but it's diminished. He had 2 for 17 this week on 4 targets, which was a bad week. He was my start of the week. I'll take the L on that one. It was a whiff. He was hurt going into this week's game, so you could factor that in, but yeah, not a great week for Juwan. So I think Olave rock solid, really high floor, and hopefully he's going to start booming soon. But Rashid Shaheed, you like to see it. He could be a nice play moving forward. Moving on to the next game. Broncos, Eagles. Broncos get it done. Eagles lose. So, man, I bet for elimination picks this week. Tough going. A lot of favorites lost, as I mentioned at the beginning. So the Eagles lost. Bo Nix actually looked pretty solid. Decent day for fantasy as well. Dobbins, 20 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown compared to Harvey only having 4. It really looks like Dobbins is going to keep getting work regardless of how much Harvey does. Um, Harvey had 3 catches, but that was it. Ingram got in the end zone, so it was a decent fantasy day. I still don't like Ingram season long. Troy Franklin is still the 2, although it wasn't a great game for him. And Cortland Sutton, man, 8 for 99. Good game just all around. But yeah, nothing special, nothing super particular to point out here, although it looks like it's going to be Dobbins for a while, and he's going to be the main guy here in this backfield. And yeah, Sutton, rock solid, week in, week out. As for the Eagles, Hurts, man, he looks okay. He's going to be good for fantasy regardless. Saquon had 6 carries. This was really weird. This was away from what they usually do as a team. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, he got saved because of that long 47-yard touchdown in the air, 3 for 58 in that touchdown. So it was a decent day. Devontae Smith went crazy, 8 for 114 on 10 targets. AJ Brown went 5 for 43 on 8 targets. Dallas Goedert got 9 targets. He scored a touchdown on 3 catches. So decent day. They went through the air more, and Devontae Smith was the big beneficiary. My sit of the week was AJ Brown. 9 points. It's okay. It's okay. But they threw the ball more. If they are going to keep throwing the ball, and he could have had a crazy day. He had that route where he like went up and then he slowed down. If he didn't slow down, he would have went crazy. He would have caught like a bomb for a touchdown. So sucks for AJ Brown owners. AJ Brown, man, he has not been exciting for fantasy so far this year. I wouldn't worry too much about AJ Brown if I'm being honest, though. Like I said, that big catch could have saved his day. Devontae Smith had a great game too. And if this is the recipe for success moving forward, I think these 2 guys are going to be okay. I think Saquon's going to be okay too because he'll get pass catching work. Goddard could be solid too. It's just weird they went so far away from the run game, which worked for them to win a Super Bowl last year. So I don't think this is going to be what they do moving forward too much, if I'm being honest. I just can't see Saquon only getting 6 carries. I believe his 9 touches was like the lowest he's ever had in his career since coming into the league in one game. So it's weird. I don't know what to think, right? Because they ended up losing the game anyway. So, and they're like, oh, we're gonna pass this game. We're gonna pass. We're gonna involve these guys more, and they didn't win. So I think they're gonna go back to their system and run the ball like crazy. But keep an eye on it. If this changes, or if you buy into it, this could be a great buy window for AJ Brown. Devontae Smith is gonna cost a little because he had a great game, but. Yeah, weird situation. They went so far away from their game script and lost. So you gotta anticipate they go back to it, but we'll see. Next game, Cowboys beat down on the Jets. Dak looked amazing again, 4 touchdowns. Javonte looks great, dude. 16 for 135 and a touchdown. He had a catch too, and that catch went for a touchdown. He had like I think it was like top 5 or top 7 or something on the week for RBs. He's good, dude. It's so weird to think, but Javonte Williams has been great. He was 8.4 a carry, and the Jets are supposedly a good defense. I don't know, but Yeah, crazy day for Javonte. He's awesome. He could be a borderline RB1 rest of the season at this rate. George Pickens, only 2 catches, but one of them went for a deep touchdown, which saved his day big time. Thank you. Thank you for that touchdown, George. Ryan Flournoy, I don't even know how to say his name. Jalen Tolbert was supposed to be the number 2 man up. It was Ryan Flournoy, 6 for 114 on 9 targets. Big time day. Wouldn't buy into it. I don't think it's going to be anything, and who knows when CD is going to be back. Jake Ferguson again, 7 for 49 and 2 touchdowns on 9 targets. He's amazing. He's been awesome. He had another top 5 fantasy finish at the tight end position. He's awesome. Him, Javante, Dak. This team's just good. This offense is just good, dude. And as long as they keep putting up points, they could win some games. They're 2-2-1 right now. Their defense sucks, but this offense is a lot of fun to watch. As for the Jets, Justin Fields, my start of the week, saved late in the game. He started going crazy late. Yeah, it didn't do a lot of rushing, but 283 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, decent. Brees Hall, the workhorse, 14 carries, 113 yards, 4 receptions, 42 yards. Solid day, really solid day. Garrett Wilson, 6 for 71 and one. We've talked him up. We love him. 10 targets. He's just going to keep getting fed. But the big story of this game, Mason Taylor. 9 receptions for 67 yards on 12 targets. I think he had the 2 point conversion as well. But this dude had a great day. I mean, he's getting targeted like crazy left and right. We had it last week. He was Vinny's start of the week this week. Smashed it. He smashed that. That was a great call. Yeah, I really like Mason Taylor moving forward, honestly. He's the number 2 guy in this offense. Maybe even the number 1 if you want to say that. I think it's still Garrett Wilson. I really do. He had the touchdown, but he got more receptions and out targeted Garrett Wilson this week. Mason Taylor did it. So yeah, he's gonna be viable moving forward. Love Mason Taylor. Love what I saw out of this game. So he's getting it done. And workhorse Brees is awesome. Hopping into the next game. Colts Raiders. The Raiders are bad. The Raiders are really bad. They lost 40-6. Geno looked terrible. Yeah, Geno's droppable. I'm probably gonna drop him, like I said, in my super flex league, which is crazy. Genty's still looking good, 14 for 67. He had 5 for 42 through the air. As long as he's getting targets, he's going to still be very good for fantasy. Trey Tucker was okay. No Brock Bowers in this one. Jacoby Myers was okay. There's not a lot to talk about here. Genty, I think they're making him more of a focal point of the offense, though, especially with Geno's struggles lately. So if Genty continues to be the focal point of the offense, it's good news for him moving forward. As for the Colts, Daniel Jones looking good again. Jonathan Taylor, another 3 touchdown game, 17 carries for 66 yards and three. Through the air, he had three catches too, which is great. If he's getting 4 targets a game, this guy's going to be RB2 probably behind Christian McCaffrey. So I love to see that. Michael Pittman, 5 for 39 and one. Solid day. He continues to catch touchdowns every week. Tyler Warren, 4 for 44 and a touchdown. He's been rock solid too. Josh Downs had a good day though, 6 for 54. But yeah, hey, Adonai Mitchell had that mistake last week, and Ashton Dulin was the beneficiary of that because Alec Pierce is still out. So they did not like what they saw out of Adonai Mitchell. And he got the bench. So yeah, I think this team should still be Warren and Pittman mostly moving forward. Downs had a good day. I don't expect that to stick a lot. I think it's still going to be Pittman and Warren, and then of course Jonathan Taylor, man, he's awesome. Um, but yeah, let's move into the next game. We got Dolphins Panthers. Panthers won that one. That was an awesome game. It was commentated by Eric Collins. If you know the Hornets announcer, he's awesome. Tua, decent day. They barely run the ball. Devon Achane had 10 carries for only 16 yards, but he had 6 for 30 through the air with a touchdown on 7 targets. Waller, dude, Waller's legit. Waller has to be owned. 5 for 78 and a touchdown. Let me find out his snap share too this week because I think I would assume it jumped up. So if that's the case, that's all. Yeah, he went from 28 to 58% this week. This dude should be owned everywhere. I think he's going to be good rest of season, which is so strange to think about because it's old man Darren Waller coming out of retirement to play for the Dolphins, but he's good and you have to play him right now. And then Jalen Waddle without Tyreek Hill, 6 for 110 and a touchdown on 9 targets, and he's locked in too. These three guys I think are what it's going to be for the Dolphins. Waddle, big beneficiary without Tyreek. Waller in general, he's also a beneficiary, and then Achan's just going to be Achan anyways. So yeah, it's nice. It's consolidated a little bit. Oh, I will say my favorite stat line of the week, Malik Washington, who arguably could have been the next man up. It's not. It's Nick Westbrook-Akine, who did absolutely nothing. I don't even think he got a target in this game, but he will be the next man up in the receiving room. But Malik Washington, 4 receptions, 5 targets, 0 yards. I love it. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he did it. 4 receptions for 0 yards, but hey, you do you, man. As for the Panthers, Bryce looks pretty mid. Rico Dowdle, number one player on the week. I believe number one player, number one running back for sure. Maybe not player, but number one running back for sure. 23 carries, 206 yards and a touchdown. He looked good. He had juice. 3 catches for 28 yards too. He just looked good, dude. And if Chuba's out, this dude is going to be great again. He gets Dallas revenge game. They're already talking trash. What's his name? The new coach for the Cowboys, he's talking trash back. It's gonna be an awesome game. But yeah, even with Chuba back, if he comes back this week, I think they may split some carries because Rico looked good, dude. He looked really, really good. So we'll see what happens. Tet solid 6 for 73 on 8 targets. There's not much else there. Leggett got a touchdown, but and Mitchell Evans, but yeah, that doesn't matter for fantasy. Leggett's nothing for fantasy either. It's really just Tet, and hopefully some touchdowns come for him soon because he's got a really high floor, but he hasn't popped off just yet. Moving ahead, next game we got Bucks Seahawks, another game-winning drive for Baker Mayfield. He's got a dog in him. I love it. I love Baker. He had a great week too. And it was Vinny's sit of the week, and the dude missed 4 throws. He completed 29 of 33 attempts, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 5 carries for 15 yards. I mean, Baker's just that dude. I think he's startable every single week. And it's crazy because we're like, he's low-key got to repeat as good as he was last year to return value where he was drafted this year. And so far he has been. It's crazy. I want to see what he is on the year. Let me pull this up right now. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Baker Mayfield, number 3 on the year, number 3 quarterback on the year. You'd love to see it. As for the rest of this team, Rashad White, 14 for 41, 2 touchdowns. He got 4 for 30 through the air. He's a true workhorse. He got 80% of snaps. As long as Bucky's out, Rashad White is startable as an RB2. You love to see it. Can't wait till Bucky's back, but hey, if you have Rashad White, you should be happy about that. As for the receivers, Godwin, we still got to wait for him to warm up, get back to things, but Egbuka, man, Egbuka is unreal. This guy is top 10 the rest of the year, it feels like. I mean, he went 7 for 163 and a touchdown in this one. He's awesome. He's awesome. I don't know. Now I'm gonna look up where Egbuka is on the season. But yeah, dude, Egbuka and whoever the running back is, if Bucky's there, it's Bucky. If he's out, it's Rashad White. But these guys are awesome. Awesome for fantasy. Yeah, Egbuka is the number 3 receiver on the year in PPR. And he's had no less than 12 points in a game. He has 5 touchdowns through 5 weeks. This dude is legit talent-wise. I mean, Baker talked him up. We've talked him up in the offseason. A lot of people did. He's been that good. He's been that good. You love to see it. Egbuka, Baker, and the running backs. As for the Seahawks, Darnold had a day, 341 yards, 28 for 34 attempts, 4 touchdowns. He threw a pick, doesn't really matter. JSN looked awesome again, top 5, welcome back. 8 for 132 and a touchdown. Uh, Cooper Kupp had a decent day, too, 6 for 59. If they're throwing the ball, and this was the recipe for this game, they had to throw the ball. They couldn't run like crazy like they want to because the Bucks are good, and the Bucks, they're forcing them to throw the ball a little bit. But we now know Sam Darnold can, so maybe we see more of it. I'd love to see it. AJ Barner, 7 for 53 and two. This dude might be legit in terms of a tight end this year. So he's going to be on watch. Maybe go pick him up. As for the running backs, pretty even split. 10 carries for 86 yards for Ken Walker, 9 for 36 and a touchdown for Charbonnet. Charbonnet continues to get the touchdowns. So I think we continue to see that. I think we continue to see a split. It's what's working for them. And yeah, as long as it's helping them win games, or at least they lost this one, but at least get close. Yeah, I think they're going to continue split there, but JSN's awesome, dude. Darnold looks like a good quarterback. It looks like the Seahawks made the right decision by moving on from Geno for Darnold. Next game, the worst game of the week, the worst loss in probably NFL history. The Titans upset the Cardinals 22-21 with the goofiest touchdown you'd ever see. It was picked off and fumbled into the end zone for Tyler Lockett to pick up and score. But I don't know what's going on there. Then they need a first down and they run the ball three times and then punt. And then they have a crazy drive down the field and Ridley goes crazy, of course, in this game. And yeah, the Titans end up winning the game, which they didn't even look good. Cam Ward still, he doesn't look great. Tony Pollard scored a touchdown. Calvin Ridley went 5 for 131 yards on 10 targets. And it's like he was banged up this week too. It makes no sense. But Ridley, Manor are the only two guys really to watch on this one. I guess Pollard, as long as he's still getting the carries and he's scoring the touchdowns, cool. But yeah, I think Spears is gonna get some more work moving forward. So we'll see if it turns into a split at all. But yeah, it's not exciting for fantasy, the Titans. As for the Cardinals, Kyler, pretty average day. It wasn't good. The Titans have been good against fantasy QBs, but yeah, I mean DeMarcado, man, 3 for 81. And we were wrong. We were wrong about who the starter is going to be. It is Michael Carter, 100%, 18 carries, 51 yards and a touchdown. He also got five targets, caught all five of them for 22 yards. So he's getting the receiving work too. DeMarcado's probably droppable. He might get cut from this team. He dropped the ball right before the goal line on that long run. It was terrible. And that was also another reason they lost the game. But Michael Carter looked okay. He looked solid. He's getting the work. He's an RB2 for right now, I think. I wish I picked him up instead of DeMarcado, that's for sure. But yeah, that's the situation right now. Marv looks okay, 4 for 98 on five targets. He's finally finding his groove a little bit. Trey McBride, 5 for 41, a little bit of a disappointment. Just kind of a disappointing all day for the Cardinals outside of Michael Carter. So hopefully you picked him up over DeMarcado. Didn't make the same mistake I did. I just kind of anticipated more receiving work and maybe DeMarcado because when Benson was healthy, it was DeMarcado. But nope, it's Michael Carter, and he should be owned in all leagues right now. Next game, we have Washington Commanders upset. I wouldn't say an upset, but they beat down on the Chargers. Jane Daniels was back, looks good. Debo, 8 for 96 and a touchdown. You love to see it. Outside of that, like Ertz had a goose. It was not great. Nobody got more than two targets outside of Debo, who got 11. So yeah, it's a funnel, but they ran crazy with Bill Krosky. 14 for 111, two touchdowns. The split seems to be gone. Even the snap count, I believe the splits were not crazy by any means. If this would like to load, I will pull it up. Yeah, it's looking a little bit more, instead of being 35, 33, and 35 last week, it was 47% Bill Karofsky, 25% and 25% for McNichols and Chris Rodriguez. So yeah, I think it's Bill Krosky moving forward. And if you have him, you love to see it. He had a great day for fantasy. He had 2 for 39 in the air. So he's getting a little bit of that receiving work too. And then the two touchdowns on the ground. So yeah, Bill had a great day. It's awesome. Jaden Daniels looking good. It's good he's back in this offense. Big boost to the offense as a whole. As for the Chargers, Herbert's been okay. Um, Hampton was okay before going down with an injury. 44 yards on 12 carries, but he also had six receptions for 26 yards. So that always helps in PPR. Quentin Johnston, man, of course, the one week I start him, I'm like, all right, this is the week. This is the week. He had 4 for 40. He fumbled. He had a carry. it was a bust of a week. It was a bad week for Huge. Keenan Allen went 5 for 58. Ladd, 5 for 39, got in the end zone on 7 targets. So the pecking order this week was Keenan with the most targets, then Ladd, then Hampton, then Huge. I still think Huge is the alpha. I think maybe the Commanders just had something planned for him. So we'll see moving forward. We'll have to see what it looks like next week. I'm going to start him again next week. We'll see what it is. He won't be my start of the week again. But yeah, of course, this is the one week everybody starts him and he fumbles the bed. But Ladd getting in the end zone is good news for him. So just got to hope Herbert can get it together and start gunslinging again. Lions, Bengals, Lions end up winning. They were my elimination pick, and I am still alive through 5 weeks. In a week with a ton of upsets, taking the Lions over the Bengals is a good sign. So they got it done. Jared Goff looked solid, 19 for 23, 258, 3 touchdowns. Amon-Ra getting it done every week, 8 for 100. Sam Laporta, 5 for 92 and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had a touchdown through the air. A bunch of different guys had a touchdown through the air. David Montgomery ran for a touchdown too, 18 carries, 65 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had only 12, but for 54, he got in the end zone, had some receptions. So it was a solid day for him overall as well. As long as that split is there, I think Jahmyr Gibbs' overall ceiling is a little capped, but I like Gibbs way more than Montgomery. I feel like it should go back. I think this one was more 50-50 split. I think it should go back kind of closer to that 60-40, maybe even a little more for Jahmyr Gibbs. But hey, if it's working for them, it's working for them. Laporta looked awesome. Jameson Williams, man. 1 target, he caught it for 9 yards. He's been a bust this year, and it sucks having him on a team. I'm like, I don't know what to do with him. He's just sitting there for me right now. He's running the most, like he's run the most snaps out of the receivers, but he's doing nothing. So I'm gonna sit, maybe be patient, hope for the best. But yeah, I was listening to the fantasy footballers the other day, and they were like, "Yep, well, Jameson Williams, this far into his career, has not had a game with more than 5 receptions, which is not good. And if we're talking breakout, like he has not been good this year. So there's a lot of worry on Jameson Williams. I would push the panic button here. It's really Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta, and then of course Gibbs is catching a lot of passes too in that receiving room. As for the Bengals, Browning looked horrible. It was a decent day for fantasy, but he looked terrible. They brought in Flacco, as I mentioned. Chase Brown's awful, dude. 8 for 27 on the ground, 7 for 21 through the air. Actually, P. Ryan started getting more touches, more snaps this game. So that's something to keep an eye on. T. Higgins got saved by a touchdown. Jamar Chase looked awesome, 6 for 110 and 2 touchdowns. So he's still gonna be okay. Andre Yoshivas, though, he did better than T. Higgins this game, and I need to pull up the snap counts because I'm curious to see how much he got this week. But he had 5 for 82 on 7 targets. T also had 7 targets, but only caught 3 of them. He did get a touchdown. Let's see. Yoshivas, 87% of the snaps. So they're running 3 wide receiver sets all the time with those 3. So you got to hope Flacco chooses T. Higgins over Yoshibas because it's not great if he's choosing him. But yeah, Chase Brown's snap percentage was down to 53% this week, and P. Ryan was up to 47%. It's almost a 50-50 split. So red flags are flying off the board there. It's brutal. It's brutal for Chase Brown owners right now. He had 7 receptions, which was real nice, but yeah, other than that, not too great. Let's hop into if this doesn't want to bug out on me. We're going into the Sunday night game. Patriots upsetting the Bills. And I did not think we would win this game, but we got it done. I mean, Drake May, dude. Drake May looks awful. Or awful, sorry. He looks awesome. Awesome. He does not look awful or anything close to it for that matter. 22 for 30, 273 yards. He looked so good, dude. Drake May looks awesome. I mean, that stiff arm and then getting the pass off was unreal. It's crazy to see what he's done so far. And Diggs, dude. 10 for 146 in a revenge game. I think he was top five on the week and for receivers, 12 targets. The number two guy up is Hunter Henry, who didn't have a great day. It was 2 for 46. Fumbling is still happening. Um, Ramondre Stevenson, man, oof. I mean, he got 2 for 13 through the air, 7 carries, 14 yards, gross, but he got 2 touchdowns. So if he's getting the work there, it's not good for Travion. But Travion had 6 for 24 and 2 receptions for 3 yards. We'll see how it shakes out without Gibson, but yeah, that's ugly running from both of them, to be honest with you. It's real ugly, but Stevenson got the touchdown, saved his day. But Diggs, man, Diggs looks awesome. Hopefully that snap count and route participation keeps going up. May looks unbelievable. Not a great day for fantasy, but he looks good. I would not be worried about him. Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen, a good day again. James Cook, worst game of the week, 15 for 49 yards. He did not catch a pass. 4.9 points, not great, but I wouldn't worry too much. I think this Patriots defense is a lot better than we think it is. And, Christian Gonzalez being back is big time. Milton Williams has looked awesome for them. That was a big pickup for them in the offseason. So, yeah, I think this defense is not one we want to target like we had wanted to the past few years. So, yeah, running backs are going to have a tough time. Genty struggled his first game in the opener against the Patriots, too. And it seems like running backs have been struggling a little bit. So, not surprised James Cook had a tough day. That's okay. Dalton Kincaid, man, I keep saying to sell him. He's not getting a lot of routes, but he's part of the pass offense. He's proven me wrong. 6 for 108, and he's the tight end two on the year. So it's one of those situations where it's like we talked about last week. We got to accept just the situation with Quentin Johnston, and he's an alpha. I think for me, I got to accept, hey, Dalton Kincaid is good, and he's part of this offense, big part of the offense. Khalil Shakir, 6 for 45. Okay, he's still the number one option at the receivers. Keon caught a touchdown, but Keon hasn't been great. He had 7 targets, which you like, but 4 for 23, a touchdown. Hasn't been good. I mean, the touchdown saved him. That's all I gotta say there. But yeah, hell of an upset. Let's go, Patriots. Jaguars upset the Chiefs. Yeah, a lot of upsets, like I mentioned this week. Mahomes looked awesome again, dude. He just looked good. He ran for 60 yards and a touchdown. He looked great. Travis Kelce, 7 for 61 and a touchdown. Worthy, 6 for 42, plus a little carry. 9 targets, 8 targets for Hollywood, 4 for 48. So not great. 8 targets for Kelce. We'll be seeing a lot of Rice, I assume, when Rice is back in a week. So one more week without Rice, and he's back. I think Rice and Worthy and Kelce are kind of going to make this a consolidated receiving room. Taekwon had a deep ball, but yeah. Running back room, they are not a very good running team, but they split Hunt and Pacheco, 7 carries each. Hunt caught both the touchdowns. Not really sure what to do about that. I don't like either. Wouldn't start either moving forward. Trevor Lawrence, man, looked good. I mean, he had that scramble at the end. He fell down, got up, scored the touchdown. 10 carries, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence. It was good fantasy day, man. It was. This team is just getting it done. They're 4-1, which is crazy. ETN, 49 yards on the ground, 3 for 9 through the air. Not a great day for him fantasy wise. I wouldn't worry about it too much. The Chiefs have a great run defense. Brian Thomas, double digits finally, 4 for 80. Travis Hunter had a nice deep catch if you saw it, that deep ball. 3 for 64. Brenton Strange went down with an injury, but it wasn't a good day for the Jaguars in terms of fantasy outside of Trevor Lawrence, who kind of did it all. Parker Washington caught a touchdown from him, but did pretty much nothing else. And Trevor Lawrence got 2 rushing touchdowns, so that was big for him. And that pick six, that was crazy. 99-yard pick six for the Jaguars, Devin Lloyd. So yeah, that was cool to see too. But all right, that'll do it. That'll be the recap of the week. So let me pull up. We got waivers. Let's hop right into waivers. So add Michael Carter. If he wasn't picked up in your league, go get him. Woody Marks, I still think is an ad. He might be more of a stash. This could be a situation where somebody drops him and you can go get him for basically free. So I would keep an eye on him. Both Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins, while Hampton is out, should be owned. Rico Dowdle, go get him. I don't care if Chuba comes back this week. He needs to be owned, even as a stash. Tajay Spears is a stash right now. Kenny Gainwell feels like he could be the starter another week, so he should be owned. Kendre Miller, bit of a stash. Those are your running backs. Alec Manor feels like a stash. I would grab him. He's still running a lot of routes. And yes, it was a Ridley week, but I think Manor could be in for some games moving forward. Troy Franklin is still the two for Bo Nix. I would probably add him to a roster. Rashid Shaheed, I mentioned already, he should be added to rosters. Kendrick Bourne, he had a great game. I would add him as long as Jennings and Pearsall are out, you could probably start him. Wan'Dale Robinson should be added as the number one guy moving forward for the Giants, even with the down week this week. Romeo Dobbs, it was a bye week. Maybe people didn't pick him up after his three touchdown performance. I would pick him up. Isaiah Bond, he's a stash. Do not start him. Do not play him. If you have room, stash Isaiah Bond, and I would stash Jalen Coker coming back from IR. So those are two guys I would stash at the end of the bench for wide receiver. At quarterback, Sam Darnold looked awesome. I would consider adding him if you have the room. Jackson Dart also, he was a little banged up. It wasn't the best game in the world, but he had a solid outing overall. Those are two quarterbacks I would think about. A lot of tight ends to talk about here. Mason Taylor, we talked about, he's getting a huge route participation, huge target share right now. I think it was 25% this week, which is big time. It's him and Garrett Wilson in that offense. Clearly, there's building some rapport with Justin Fields. Add him everywhere. Theo Johnson, you could low-key add to. The couple touchdowns is awesome. So if he's going to keep getting them, that's great. Cole Kmet, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. If Loveland continues to miss time, or if Loveland isn't there, Cole Kmet was on the field for 100% of snaps in week 4. They were on bye this past week. So Cole Kmet could be added, maybe more of a stash. Darren Waller needs to be added everywhere. He's a focal point of this offense. Like I said, it's Jalen Waddle, Darren Waller, and Devon Achane. So pick up Waller. AJ Barner, he feels worth adding. He's had some solid games. And this was a great game for him as well. I think he needs to be owned. If you have space for him at the end of your bench, I would probably grab him. As for guys you can drop Jalen Tolbert if you picked him up, expecting him to be the two behind Pickens right now. Droppable. Slayton, droppable. He hasn't done much and the injury. I think you can drop Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichols. It seems like it's going to be Bill Krosky moving forward. And even without that, they haven't done much. So I would drop both of them. I would probably drop Justice Hill. He had a really down week after exploding the week prior. I think maybe we'll get one or two more of those throughout the year, but then there's going to be a lot more 3-point games like the one he had this week. And then Malik Washington, if for whatever reason you owned him, thinking he's the two behind Waddle, he's not. Go ahead and drop him as well. Okay. Let's do some trade targets. Let's talk about last week's. I think, yeah, I think Tet is still a buy. Juwan Johnson could still be a buy. I hope you sold Justice Hill. I told you to. I think DK could still be a sell. Vinny had buy Harvey. I think you could still buy Harvey. I think buying Lamar, CD, and Kittle is all also really solid, right? Coming back from injury. Selling guys, I think you could sell Bo Nix. I think you could sell Pitts. So yeah, there's some guys who are consistent from last week. My trade targets of the week, I'll do mine and I'll share what Vinny wrote some down as well. I'll share them. I'll talk about mine a little more than I will about his. I'm buying Drake May at the quarterback position this week. I down week for him, but he looked awesome. He looked really, really good. And it wasn't a big day for fantasy, but I expect a lot better games moving forward. And he's been really good for fantasy anyways. This is the cheapest you'll get him. Go buy Drake May. Likewise, James Cook at running back. I think this is the lowest you're going to get him at. I said the Patriots got a good run defense, and yeah, I don't think you're going to get James Cook for as cheap as you did. And he's running still 70 something percent of snaps this year, which is big time for him. Tet is my buy at receiver. He's still getting targets, still has a steady floor. I think he's one of those guys where he's a very safe option with upside. If you need a guy like that, if you have a lot of volatile receivers, you might want some more safety and more consistency. Ted's a good guy to get. And I think McBride, man, it wasn't a great day in respect, in perspective to other tight ends, but Yeah, I think McBride's still going to be rock solid, and it hasn't really been super awesome for him so far this year. But I think you could go get him for fairly cheap for the time being, and I think he's going to be good. Vinny's buys, he's got Justin Herbert, as I have the last 2 weeks. I'm a little worried about the O line. It hasn't been good, but I don't mind that buy as well. Woody Marks, he's got at running back. Like I said, some people might drop him. Go get him if he gets dropped. AJ Brown, I think, yeah, like I said, he almost had a huge touchdown. So I think if they continue to throw, that's going to be big. And Mason Taylor is his buy at tight end. I like that as well. I just talked up Mason Taylor, so I won't go into it further. As for sells, I'm selling CJ Stroud. He had a huge performance, but decimated Ravens defense. I'm selling him, see if I can get anything. Chase Brown, like I said, the splits are almost 50-50 with him and Pirine. Don't like it. Even with Flacco coming in, I don't really like it. I'm trying to get off Chase Brown. Maybe people will bite too because Flacco is there now. So I'm getting off Chase Brown if I can. Rashid Shaheed, he had a big game. I think he's worth owning and he's worth a roster spot, but explore what you could get. He had a great week, so explore. Same with AJ Barner for my sell at tight end. Explore, right? He's been solid, and I think he could actually be legit, but explore. See if you could get anything good. As for Vinny sells, he's selling Fields. I don't mind that. He had a great week the past 2 weeks, but see what you could get. Maybe people like that. Rashad White, I get it. Bucky's coming back at some point, and he had a great game this week. So, if he doesn't repeat that, you're not getting the same return for Rashad White that you would after this week. Pickens, don't know how I feel about that. I'll be honest. I think Pickens is going to be good. It's because CD's coming back. That's why he has him here. But I think Pickens was good even with CD, and I think he will be moving forward. It was not the best week for him, but he was shadowed by Sauce. Still got in the end zone. It was a decent game for him. So I think Pickens will still have his moves. But again, yeah, see if you could sell high for him. Get something while you can. I still believe in Pickens though. David Njoku is his sell at tight end. I I don't really agree with that either. I think that's going to be Dylan Gabriel's guy, but I get it. Huge game. You could sell him and maybe say, hey, Fannin is there too. And there's two tight ends here, and we don't know what it's going to look like moving forward. So this could be a peak moment for you to trade Njoku and get something for him. All right, that's our trade targets of the week. Getting into stardom situms. Let's go over last week's. Last week I hit big with Fields. Um, I hit big saying to sit Hunter Henry. So I guess I had two hits. Scotty was okay. He wasn't a big hit, but he was okay. Jordan Mason got in the end zone, so he was okay, even though he was a sit for me. AJ Brown, he was 9 points. It's an okay sit. Bo actually looked good, so I didn't hit there. Huge and Juwan were also starts of the week for me, and they both whiffed. So L's there, but overall not a bad week, I would say for me. Vinny had Dart starting, was okay. Mason Taylor was a big hit for him as a starter. I would say the biggest hit for any of us this week. Woody Marks was a whiff, unfortunately. BTJ, he was okay, so not too bad there. Sitting Baker, that was a whiff. He went crazy. I think Baker's just that dude. Dobbins had a good game. Tough one. Addison, if it wasn't for the last drive, he wouldn't have had a good game. And Fannin saved by a touchdown. So not a horrible decision to sit him. Overall, I think we did actually pretty decent this week. Even guys who were just like okay, there weren't too many like big misses. So you like that. You like the progress we're making here. Hey, undrafted and unqualified. You know what I'm saying. As for our starts and sits of this week, my start of the week at quarterback is Matthew Stafford versus the Baltimore Ravens. Stroud just torched them. Stroud just went crazy. 28 points. I think he was the number one quarterback on the week. I expect big things for Stafford this week. He's going to throw all over them, just like Stroud did. And yeah, that defense is decimated right now. So start Stafford this week if you can. Vinny's start of the week is Jared Goff versus the Chiefs. Um, we'll get to more of that later. My running back start of the week, Rico Dowdle versus the Dallas Cowboys. Revenge game. We just saw him go ballistic against Miami, and this is not only a good matchup, but it's a revenge game. I am all in on Rico this week. Think you should start him everywhere. Vinny's got Bill Krosky against the Bears. I think that's a solid matchup, and if he continues to get work, I think this is a good start as well. Wide receiver start of the week for me is Stephon Diggs. They're playing the Saints. I just think the volume, it's increased every week. I think this is a good matchup for him. I really do. I think this is going to be a chance for Diggs to continue to break out and turn into that true alpha for the Patriots on a consistent manner. Vinny's got Lad versus the Dolphins. I guess he's buying in. He's saying, hey, Lad's back, and that's the guy. So go start Lad. Tight end. He didn't do tight end, so just mine for this week. Tight end, I got Tucker Kraft versus the Bengals. They're dead last against tight ends right now, and Kraft is coming off a bye, and Laporta just torched him for a 20-pointer last week. So yeah, go start Kraft everywhere you can, please. As for sits of the week, my sit of the week is Jared Goff versus the Chiefs. So funny, Vinny's got him at a start. I got him as a sit. We'll see who's right. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence had a good day, but it wasn't a great day in terms of like passing. He had two rushing touchdowns. So I'm sitting Goff. The Chiefs defense is tough. So I'm sitting Goff on this one. Um, Vinny's sitting Fields versus Denver. Denver's a tough defense. I get it. That it's not a great matchup for Justin Fields. So they could get stifled as an offense as a whole. The Jets. As for running backs, I'm sitting Jaylen Warren versus the Browns. I said Jordan Mason last week, and this has been a tough matchup for running backs all year. If Jordan Mason hadn't gotten in the end zone, it would have been a 6-point day. So yeah, I'm sitting Jaylen Warren coming back from injury too. I'm sitting him in this tough matchup here. Um, as for Vinny's, he's sitting David Montgomery versus the Chiefs. We talked about it. This run defense is really good. ETN didn't have a great week this week. And yeah, I kind of like that call, sitting Montgomery. I think that's a good decision. Let's see. Oh, wide receiver. I'm sitting Godwin. I think we just need more time. It's not a great matchup versus the Niners, so I'm sitting Godwin this week. Vinny's sitting Devonta Smith versus the Giants. I don't mind that. I think this could be a Saquon game for sure. They're going to go up and probably just run the ball. And yeah, I think that's a good call as well. And my tight end sit of the week is Kyle Pitts versus the Bills. It was Hunter Henry last week. The Bills have been just stifling tight ends, and I think this is going to look more like a London game than a Pitts game. So if you can find someone else, I'd find someone else. But yeah, that will do it for this week's episode. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope you didn't get too bored of my voice. But yeah, that'll do it. Hopefully we'll have Vinny back for next week, and we'll see you then. Good luck in this week's matchup, week 6. 2 bye weeks, Ravens and Texans. Are the Ravens on bye? They might be. Anyways, 2 bye weeks. No, Vikings, Texans. Two bye weeks this week. But yeah, until then, good luck this week. We'll see you in the next episode.